Gretzky.
We are here in the case of State of Ohio versus Mark Jackson, case number 25 CR 59. Defendant is present in the courtroom and represented by defense counsel Rachel Smith. We're here in court today for a sentencing hearing. The defendant has previously been found guilty by a jury of strangulation, a felony of the 3rd degree, and domestic violence, a felony of the 4th degree.
Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. On behalf of Mr. Jackson, we are asking the court to impose a term of community control in this case, Your Honor, without minimizing the seriousness of the offenses for which Mr. Jackson has been convicted. There are a number of reasons that suggest that Mr. Jackson would be amenable to community control in this case. Your Honor, Mr. Jackson is a high school graduate. He's a stay-at-home dad, the father of 2 with another son that is due in October. Mr. Jackson was on bond during the pendency of this matter through the jury's verdict in this case. While Mr. Jackson was on bond, there was not a no-contact order in place, and he continued to reside with the victim in this case, Faith Confer, who is also pregnant with their son, and they all live together with their son, Legend, who is now 2 years old. In the 7 months that this matter was pending before the court, Your Honor, there were no incidents at Mr. Jackson's home. This was a period that was filled with additional stress from the open criminal matter, the additional stressors that come along with a pregnancy, and the financial stressors that are ever present in the lives of Mr. Jackson and Ms. Confer, all the way up through the intervening evening in trial, Your Honor. And during the trial of this matter, Mr. Jackson did learn that what Ms. Confer had been saying to him was very different from what she had been saying to other people. He learned this on a day in court where his freedom was at stake. They returned home that evening without incident and both returned to court the next day. Mr. Jackson has a number of mental health diagnoses as well as a significant trauma history. He has insight and has developed...
With a little violence mixed in, right?
With a little violence mixed in. He has developed additional insight into the assistance that he needs through this case, as well as the 40 days that he has spent in the Lake County Jail. He believes that he would benefit from counseling, domestic violence and couples counseling, as well as anger management.
Well, that's not kind of what I see from the records. You don't want anything to do with anger management stuff.
Your Honor, I do understand that at the time of the assessment, which was in April of this year, Mr. Jackson did decline anger management. Prior to receiving that information, Mr. Jackson, in preparation for this hearing, did indicate that he felt that he would benefit from anger management. Mr. Jackson does have a history that includes offenses of violence, and he has been imprisoned for those. A large portion of Mr. Jackson's trauma, as revealed in the pre-sentence report, comes from the time that he did serve in prison, and it is his desire to not return, Your Honor, that he asserts will help motivate him to conform his conduct to this court's orders if placed on community control. And as such, we would ask for a period of community control in this matter. And Your Honor, as Mr. Jackson does intend to appeal the conviction on the strangulation count in this matter, I have advised him to not allocute on the record.
Well, that makes it very difficult, okay, because he can do whatever he wants, okay, but I have to do something, okay, and I have to do something based on information that is germane to what's going on here, okay. So I got a guy in front of me convicted of strangulation, and domestic violence. I got a victim who was trying to short sell it at trial, who, when the police got there, by the witness accounts, was very reluctant to speak because Mr. Jackson was behind the door and wouldn't speak until police took her out in the hallway, down the hall, away from Mr. Jackson. So despite the backpedaling of Ms. Conford at trial, the appearance on the night of the incident seemed to be that she was very fearful of Mr. Jackson. Now, why would she be fearful of Mr. Jackson? He's got a robbery with a gun spec as a juvenile. He's got an assault as a juvenile. Got an endangering children as an adult. He's got a felonious assault, domestic violence as an adult, where he went to prison. Got out in May of 23, and here we are, January 1 of 25, with a strangulation and domestic violence. There apparently was initiation by JFS in February with virtually nothing being done at that time because they wanted to see what happened here. And all that time, he's living with Miss Conford and the child. I have some records from Signature Health and a pre-sentence report which indicate problems going back to your childhood that lead to mental health issues, a bad stint in prison that make those issues worse. You being a violent person who doesn't think he needs anger management by virtue of the records. I find out today, as we're sitting in here before I come out, that you had these evaluations from Signature Health in April, May, not even in person, but on the telephone, with Ms. Conford giving some of the answers. So I don't know what the hell's going on here, okay? So I have a ton of questions, which normally I would ask the person I'm sentencing in order to fashion an appropriate sentence, that I can't ask. And that hinders me in what I can do.
Your Honor, in light of what you have, in light of what Mr. Jackson has just heard you explain, may I take a couple moments with my client?
Go ahead and let Bob know when you're ready.
Thank you.
That I don't see any more of this stuff on here beyond today.
I would follow up with my mental health stuff. I would do anger management. If you do put me on probation and send me home with my family, I will complete probation. You won't hear from me again.
You know, those are famous last words from people that come in here. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm being honest.
So listen, my read on you is you got some serious mental health problems based on your past history. And that along with your drug use and your penchant for anger makes you dangerous. All that shit adds up to danger. In my mind. Do you have any concept of that? Do you see that at all?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I see some of it. Yeah.
right? So, so I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, you wouldn't have been charged with strangulation because it didn't exist. Okay, now the theory and the reason the legislature passed a statute making strangulation such as its elements dictate is because the theory is somebody who engages in activity like that is about this far from completing the act of murder. That's why that statute exists. Okay, so are you that guy?
No.
All right, then you should quit acting like that guy. Here's how you strike me, okay? You've got these problems in your past, and you have refused to do anything about it constructively. The only thing you do is wallow in self-pity about what happened to you in the past, which is exhibited by your lack of motivation, as you admit, okay, your lack of motivation to do anything, which leads to you falling asleep in mid-conversation, as you admitted. You don't have any desire right now to do anything to better yourself. You're 25 years old. How long is that going to go on?
I still have a chance.
Well, of course you have a chance.
I want to better myself, Your Honor.
Well, then you should better yourself.
For my
okay?
family.
And it doesn't happen by giving, first of all, you should get off the goddamn telephone when you're trying to get mental health treatment, okay? Now, I'll give you credit that you at least exhibited the desire to have face-to-face counseling. I don't know where you're going to get that, okay? Because there ain't many places that do that anymore, okay? But you got to find it. It's up to you. It's not up to Miss Crook, Miss Smith. It's not up to me to get you counseling. It's not up to me to give you the desire to go get a job, to go better your life. It's up to you. So if Signature Health can't give you face-to-face attention that you need, then you need to go somewhere else.
I could do face-to-face with Signature Health.
Well, then do it. Then I don't know why. I don't know why you're getting interviewed over the telephone, answering questions with Faith sitting right next to you. Miss Smith makes a good point that after this offense, you two guys managed to live together and not kill each other, so that's a positive. So I don't know what's going on with you.
It is a lack of motivation. I do have a lack of motivation.
Why do you have a lack of motivation?
I ain't have no support growing up, but it's all up to me now. I have a family, and I wanted to do better.
Okay, you had a lack of support growing up. And 5 years from now, okay, you're going to look back on growing up and realize you had no support growing up. That ain't going to change. You can't change that. All you can do is figure out how to deal with it and move forward so that you have motivation. So that you have a positive influence on your kids instead of showing them what's been going on for the last 10 years with you. But you got to decide that. I can't, nobody can make you do it. I mean, I can put you on probation. I can give you 10 things to do. And you'll either do them or you won't. I have no control over whether you do them. I don't have any control over anything except, where you might reside for a period of time. If you don't do them, that's the only control I have.
I will do what I have to do to be with my family.
I guess we'll find out, right? It's easy to talk about it.
I got to do it.
Now, what medication had you been prescribed? What mental health medication?
I forgot the name of it. It was for my bipolar, and
For what?
I forgot the name of it.
What's it for? What's it designed to do?
To keep me balanced for my bipolar and my depression, to balance it out.
Okay. So they want you to take that medication to provide some sort of chemical balance in your brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Then tell me how smoking pot helps that process.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. So why do you do it?
To be honest, I don't know why.
Okay. Well, I know why. Because you want to get high. That's why you do it. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So doesn't that defeat the purpose of medication that's supposed to chemically balance what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Then don't do it.
I don't need to. I won't do it.
Okay. There are a whole bunch of pieces to the puzzle here that are all mixed up right now, that only you have the ability to put back together.
Yeah, we'll put them back together. I'll work on myself. Not just for me, for my family.
Mr. Gretzky?
If the court does sentence the defendant to community control sanctions, the state would recommend JTP and NeoCap, that the defendant get a valid driver's license, full-time employment, parenting classes, and anger management. Thank you.
Why don't you have a driver's license?
I don't know how to drive.
Okay. Did you ever have a driver's license?
No.
All right. Well, guess what? Before Miss Smith would turn 16 years old, she didn't know how to drive either. But she learned how to drive and got a driver's license. And now she's able to get to work and home by driving. Right? So the reason you didn't get a driver's license is you didn't feel like doing it. Goes to your lack of motivation, right?
And I tried to drive and I fell asleep behind the wheel.
Okay. Why did you fall asleep behind the wheel? Why do you fall asleep in the middle of conversations? Why?
I don't know.
You don't know. Do you think it's important to find out?
Yeah, went to go see about my brain and stuff in my sleep.
Okay. What arrangements did you make to do that?
I didn't get a chance. I was with my son.
Right.
Faith was at work.
All right. So one thing that needs to stop with you is all of the excuses. You got a phone, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So when Faith is at work and your son is sleeping, instead of playing whatever games are on the goddamn phone, you could find somewhere that can address your problem with that. Or you can just go on for the next 30 years not driving because you fall asleep.
Understand.
You understand? You might understand. Question is whether you're going to do anything about it.
I would try to get my driver's license and try to learn how to drive.
All right, I reviewed the pre-sentence report, some of the records, the victim impact statement. I've considered what you have said, what Ms. Smith and Ms. Agretsky have had to say. I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. They have no illicit drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. And I don't really care that marijuana is legal. For you, it ain't, because you're on probation. You understand that?
I understand.
You're going to get a mental health evaluation, and then whatever treatment plan is implemented, you're to follow each of those recommendations. So my guess is that it doesn't matter who does the evaluation, that they're certainly with your past going to recommend anger management. You're going to get a drug and alcohol evaluation and follow all the recommendations they make. You're going to obtain and maintain full employment. You're going to get a valid driver's license. You are to see only one doctor, one dentist, and one pharmacy for any prescription medication. You're going to take all your medication as prescribed, and you're going to sign releases, all the releases necessary so probation can get your record. So if I call up probation and say, get me the records for Mr. Jackson, I'm going to have them like pretty quick. You're going to complete the decision points program through probation. Follow recommendations. Ms. Crook, anything else?
Did you want to make anger management its own condition or just under the mental health assessment? Just in case.
It's going to be under the umbrella of the mental health evaluation. And if for some reason they don't recommend anger management, if I were you, I'd go get it. That's what I would do.
Okay.
You understand all the terms?
Yes.
Any question about the terms?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, if you don't comply with the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, and I'll give you 36 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, anything else as far as the sentence is concerned, Ms. Zagretsky?
And what was the sentence for the jail time?
40.
Thank you.
Anything else as far as sentence, Ms. Smith?
Not on behalf of Mr. Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you have a right to appeal your conviction and your sentence to the 11th District Court of Appeals. You have the right to have a timely notice of appeal filed on your behalf. You have a right to have a lawyer represent you in the appeal. And I presume you're still indigent since we went through this trial and you've been in jail, so I'll appoint an attorney to represent you in your appeal. Do you want the PD's office to do it or separate counsel? Do you know?
Rachel Smith.
You have a right to have a transcript of all the hearings in this case, and if you can't afford them, then you have a right to have them without any fees. Ms. Zagretsky, anything further?
No, yeah, thank you.
Ms. Smith, anything further?
Not this time.
Mr. Jackson? Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. But then, on the other hand, nobody's stopping you from doing exactly what you need to do so you don't keep bouncing back